Hi guys. So today what we'll be doing is installing your MySQL server and your MySQL Workbench. So in the earlier videos we have installed your CentOS 6.4 in a virtual environment, and then we installed your Java Eclipse IDE. So today we will be completing the last part of the prerequisite installations. And after this, once we are done with the MySQL and MySQL Workbench, we can go ahead and start installing your Hadoop cluster in a pseudo distributed mode. So there are some steps that we need to follow while installing and configuring your MySQL server as well as your Workbench. So the first step out of it is downloading your MySQL repository, which you'll be getting from this particular location. The next step is you'll have to install the package which you just downloaded. So it would be sudo rpm minus hyphen uvh and the name of the package that you downloaded. In the next step, you would be installing your MySQL server with the yum command, and then you would be starting your services, checking the status and stopping those. So let's do this first few steps and then get ahead with the remaining steps which are related to your MySQL Workbench installation. So I'll go to my browser and then paste the link there. So this will take me to the official repository of all the RPM packages for your MySQL. Out of this, I have to select the best one which suits my operating system, which is Linux 6. So I'll download this. Once you click on the download link, it will ask you for registration, but don't worry, at the bottom you have a link saying no thanks, just start my download. So we'll be just clicking on that. I'll be saving the file. Once the file is saved, I'll go to the downloads folder and copy it from here and paste it in my learner's home. I'll also copy the name so that in future if I want to use it, I can simply paste it. Now I'll go to my terminal, and next step what I have to do is I have to install the downloaded package. So I'll say sudo rpm minus uvh and then the name of the package. But the sudoer is not a learner in this particular, the learner is not a sudoer in this particular virtual machine. So what we'll be doing is we'll directly do it being a root user. So I'll just clear this up front and say su and type the root password, which is wisdom sprouts. And then we will do the installation. So I'll say rpm hyphen uvh and then the name of the package. So this has installed your downloaded package. Now it's time to install your MySQL server. So I'll say sudo yum install MySQL community server. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it in here. So no need of sudo for us because now we are already the root. So I'll say yum install MySQL community server and I'll execute this command. So this is saying that your yum is locked by some other resource process. So let's first go and kill the process. So I'll say kill -9 and the process ID, as we can see in here, is 2625. So I'll say 2625. Now I can go ahead and install the command. So the successful completion of or successful execution of this command will give you the installation of your MySQL server, and then you can go ahead and install your MySQL Workbench. In the meanwhile this is getting installed, you would be asked for some confirmations. So you have to answer affirmative to all those. This will take around 3-4 minutes to complete. So again, it will ask you 2 times for confirmation. This is the last one. And this is the last phase of installation. So once this is done, you can simply start and verify whether your services of your MySQL server has been properly installed or not. So by this time this is happening, let's have a look at the remaining steps. After verifying that your services, your server has been installed properly, what you have to do is inside this repository, you will have a number of other sub-repositories. Inside this repository that you just downloaded, you'll have a number of other sub-repositories. Inside those repositories, you will have your MySQL Workbench community. So what we'll first do is we'll list all the sub-repositories that we have available inside it. So basically with this yum command, what we are doing is we are disabling all the other repositories and just keeping our MySQL community repository as enabled, and then we are listing all the sub-repositories available. Now this Workbench installation has a dependency on a EPL package which is not provided by the MySQL server package by default. So we have to externally download those package. So using a wget command, I'll download that package, and using again the rpm command, I'll install it. Then I'll upgrade the package using yum, and then we would be installing your Workbench. So now this is completed. So let's verify whether it's everything is proper or not. So I'll say sudo service MySQL d start. So this should start your MySQL server. So okay, it has given me a successful message of starting your MySQL d server. So now what I can do is I'll just check the status of this installation of the server. So I'll say sudo service MySQL d status. So it will show me the process ID on which your MySQL server is running. Now that it is proper, we can stop it. Now the installation has been successfully completed, and now we can start your server again. Stop your server again. Okay. So now that we have successfully installed our SQL server, MySQL server, now it's time to install the Workbench. So I'll say, let's first see how many subdirectories, sub-repositories are available. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it and I'll execute it. So there's some typo in here. So it's disable spelling is wrong, so it's disable. Please make a note of this. There's a typo in here, so it's disable repo, enable repo. Now we can execute it. Again, it is giving you the lock on yum command. So again, stop it and say kill -9 and the process ID, which is this time 3223. By the time we tried stopping it, it already stopped it. So what you can do is simply execute it again. So all these are the sub repositories that were available inside the primary repository that you downloaded. Out of that, this is the sub repository that we have to install. But before that, what we'll do is we'll remove the dependencies on the EPL package by downloading and upgrading the EPL package. So I'll just copy this command and execute it. So now your package is saved, so we can install it using your RPM command. Now this package is also installed, so let's upgrade it. You won't be using the sudo because we are already working as a root. So this upgrade process will take around a couple of minutes to complete. And once this upgrade happens, you can go ahead and install your Workbench. Give a confirmation affirmative response. So all the EPEL dependencies are now getting downloaded. So now that you have successfully removed all the dependencies by installing the EPL package, now you can go ahead and install your Workbench. Again, you don't need the sudo because we already are working as a root. So I'll just copy this and I'll execute this command. Again, we have a locking. So I've stopped everything and we will execute it again. So I'll say kill -9, process ID is 3671. Okay. So it's asking for a confirmation, give a affirmative response. So it will start downloading the necessary packages. You may face an issue while downloading the packages that there are some mirrors from where these packages are downloaded. So sometimes it happens that the mirrors respond really very slow. So at that time, don't panic, be patient. The yum installation will RPM installation will by default choose a not RPM, yum installation will by default choose a different mirror which would be faster in response. So you don't have to do anything, don't panic, just be patient. Again, give a confirmatory response whenever it's asked for a confirmation. So basically this tiny XML is the major dependency for your Workbench, and just for this tiny XML we had to install all your EPL packages. So this EPL is a package of Fedora project. That's why it is not freely available, not directly available inside your MySQL package. So now your MySQL Workbench community has been successfully installed. So now let's go to application and see whether we have it or not. So now we have it, the MySQL Workbench. So what we'll do is now we will start our server. So I'll say sudo service mysqld start. So now your MySQL server has been started, so we can go and have a look at the EMS client. So if I click on database connect, and say okay. So this is your MySQL database server that we just installed, and now the installation is successfully completed. So we can go ahead and start playing with it. So as of this video ends, we have also completed the installation of all the prerequisites required for your Hadoop installation. And now from the next video, we can go ahead and start our installation of Hadoop cluster in a pseudo distributed mode on CentOS Server 6.4. So that's it from the video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching it. Thank you.